This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Made to be ruled. In the end, it'll be every man for himself.
What do we do?
We get ready. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. So when we needed them, they could fight the battles that we never could. Gentlemen, what are you prepared to do?
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it. Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Thanks.
Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Coming Soon to a podcast near you. I am, of course, your host, the Uncanny Blaze. And this is my sidekick, Black Xavier. You know, instead of Black Widow. You know, Black Widow, who is in this movie. Would you prefer Hawk Saber? Xavier Man? X-Man. You're X-Man. Hey, yeah, you're X-Man. That's better. Anyways, this is my co-host, Saber.
It's a good thing I brought pizza today, because nothing makes me feel better about watching a Marvel movie than a lovely little piece of pizza. That, and it keeps me from answering your very, very messed up questions.
It wasn't a question, I was introducing you. There's a difference. Alright, so, we watched The Avengers from 2012. And I'm just gonna, first off, I don't remember any music whatsoever sounding like the song that was in that trailer. I don't remember that trailer at all.
Still good music, either way.
I didn't say it was bad music. I'm saying I don't recall any kind of music whatsoever that was in this movie. But I digress. We watched Avengers, and right off the bat, I want to say, this movie's great. I loved it when it first came out. I loved it this time after watching it again. It's just a good... I mean... This movie is what young nerds like myself could only dream of when I was a child. You know, the best Avenger...
We've got wizards, we've got gigantic snake leviathan creatures coming from space.
No, that's not what I mean by that. I mean, if you would have
punching people.
If you would have told me when I was like 10, 15 even, 18 even, that we would get a movie that would have characters from other movies that we've already seen all mashed up. Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man, If you would have told me that we would have got a giant mashup movie with all these characters that we just watched in other great Marvel movies, I would have said you're insane. That was never going to happen when we were kids. The best thing we got was Batman and maybe some joke about Superman. We didn't get movies where we got like in the comic books, these characters would interact all the time, you know? You would have Captain America show up in a Spider-Man comic and stuff like that. That didn't happen in movies. Movies, there was too much with movies. But the fact that Marvel was able to make this happen and keeps making this happen is insane. It is amazing and insane.
Yeah, there are 4 installments of this title, but even then, like, there's other installments of, like, that doesn't have the Avengers label. I'm gonna say it. I don't know who's watching this has watched Civil War, but I swear I was confused when I watched Civil War. Like, why is this labeled Captain America? Why isn't this labeled, an Avengers movie? This is totally like an Avengers movie, kind of.
Well, Winter Soldier was pretty similar too. They had a lot of the Avengers in it too, as well. The Captain America movies went from one solo, and then all of the Captain America movies are practically mashups and Avengers style movies.
Yeah, a lot of solo based movies do kind of mash in some others, like in Ragnarok, like in most of the Captain America movies. We've got a lot going in this sets the stage for what we're going to be seeing later on in, like, the MCU. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
The events in this movie have major repercussions in future movies, as we'll see when we're watching. I mean,
yeah.
So the Winter Soldier is all about and so is Civil War, all about the fact that they saved New York, but in a lot of people's eyes, they also destroyed New York. Like, they can control it, but that's what they focus on. They take, like, real world implications to a comic book movie. They take people getting upset with the destruction of New York, even though there was forces beyond their control. People held them accountable anyways. Which is more like real life.
It's one of those really dumb superhero tropes, and I'm not saying dumb as in, like, the author's dumb for thinking about this, but, like, it's a superhero trope that I think is, like, the nature of it is dumb, especially because it could definitely happen if real world implications. But, like, people get mad at, like, the Avengers for causing so much destruction to New York City, when, the alternative is New York is entirely destroyed.
And
so
possibly
the entire world.
Yeah.
And a lot more than that, too.
But I would argue that that's probably one reason. Now, I'm enjoying the new phases, phase 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've only seen Quantumania in phase 5, but I'm enjoying the new phases. But I would say that probably one of the things people aren't enjoying about it is with these original Avengers movies and all the movies in phase 1, 2, and 3, there was a lot of real world implications. And with phase 4 and 5, they have focused a lot more on the multiverse. They've focused on, like, a lot of in strange world. Like, Quantumania was literally all in the quantum realm. Like, the entire movie was pretty much in the quantum realm.
Yeah, I see that all as more like it's diversifying the MCU rather than
no. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm not
saying that you're implying, like, it's the new stuff is terrible. But, like, but yeah, like, there's really good aspects of the newer movies that aren't in the older movies, and there's stuff in the older movies that, are really enjoyable that aren't in the newer movies. Like, it diversifies it, is what I'm saying. I completely understand what you're saying. I never actually thought of that. But
yeah, well, a lot of them, the new movies are going like full blown comic books. It's like the stuff we loved reading
it's
in comic
Marvel.
books. So, which is why I think I am enjoying the new phases. And don't get me wrong, so far I also can't say that anything in these new phases are better than like this movie and like some of the stuff we got in phase 1, 2, and 3. I will still argue that those first 3 phases were better, but we haven't seen where we're going with these new phases yet. Just like in the first phase, you didn't fully realize who the main villain was going to be until I believe this movie. This is the first time they start teasing Thanos.
Speaking of first phase, like this is the last movie of the first phase of the MCU. We have the 6 movies. We got Iron Man. We've got Hulk, which we did Hulk first because you have issues, and Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and finally the Avengers. These 6 movies make up the first phase of the MCU. Next Marvel movie we'll be getting into, I believe, I think it's either going to be Spider-Man or I think it's going to be Spider-Man actually. But we'll be getting into that once
phase 2.
Once we start, yeah.
No, well, phase 2.
Phase 2 is Iron Man 3, but like because of the thing that we've got.
You're saying we're gonna go watch one of the multiverse Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna be watching Spider-Man next for the Marvel slot watch.
Which luckily they just added to Disney Plus. They did not have Spider-Man. I wasn't sure how we were watching it, but
right.
Yeah,
lucky,
they just added
for
a
me,
bunch
though,
of them.
I own the first Spider-Man movie, the first 3, in fact.
Actually,
we'll
I might
watching
too.
the first. Yeah, we'll only watch the first Spider-Man movie of this year, but next year we'll be getting into like Spider-Man 2 and maybe even 3. I haven't planned 2024 yet. That
Right.
I don't know why, but 2023 felt weird to say throughout 2022, but 2024 doesn't feel as weird to say.
Well,
maybe because it's in a device by 4s or whatever.
Well, do we want to get into the synopsis?
Probably, yeah.
All right, so this movie is pretty much this was Loki is trying to get the Tesseract, one of the Infinity Stones. As of yet, we haven't called it the Infinity Stone.
Right, we won't get into that until a later movie.
Right.
A later movie.
He's looking for the Tesseract, which I believe in Captain America was dumped into the ocean, if I remember right. Right. And
in like the modern storyline. Yeah, in the modern storyline, this is the first that we're seeing of the Tesseract. It's also the first that we're seeing of the Mind Stone.
He also decides to take the least... Sorry, Hawkeye, but he takes the weakest Avenger and decides to turn him, or essentially hypnotize him, I guess is probably the best way to put it. He hypnotizes...
uses the Mind Stone on him.
Yes, he used the Mind Stone on Hawkeye to make Hawkeye work for him. Which, I mean, you've got a god here, you have a ridiculously smart inventor that created a super suit, you have a freaking Hulk. I like how they don't even say what Hulk is or a strongman, he's just a Hawk. And then you have a super soldier with Captain America, and then like the best Russian spy in the world with Black Widow, and they go with the Archer. He kidnaps the Archer pretty much. So this movie is about Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, trying to...
we have seen before in the
Yeah.
Star Wars movies.
Yes, we have. I've seen him in many places, but sure, yes, that is where we have seen him. He forms the Avengers Initiative, much to the chagrin of the higher ups, apparently the shadowy figures, and
Yes.
he forms the Avengers program, and he bringing Earth's mightiest heroes together for ridiculously difficult missions to try to go after the Tesseract.
Except he forgets about one key figure. Santa Claus.
No, he did not grab Santa Claus.
He should have.
Yes. So this movie is bringing these guys together. It is about them trying to learn about friendship and working together as a team. And then Loki manages to make a portal from a different dimension. Now, this is all, I don't know if it's so much implied or as downright told, but Loki is working for Thanos to bring the Chitauri army into this dimension. I can't remember.
For those of you who do not know who Thanos is, he's the guy at the end of the movie just
turning around. Yeah.
Just making that weird smile.
But that was Thanos' army that was coming through the portal that the Avengers had to fight and defeat.
Yeah.
The Chitauri, I believe, is what they're called. And they finally decide to... I find it... Okay, if I have any complaints and any gripes, it's the fact that Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk and goes nuts and starts attacking Black Widow and different people. But by the end of the movie, he's fully able to control himself to not attack the Avengers and to attack the bad guys. It's almost like, well, I had nobody to fight there, and you were there. But now that you give me someone better to fight, now it's Q, and I can fight for you. I did find that turnaround kind of weird. That he lost control and then was able to control it at the end. But other than that, this is a great movie. Absolutely fantastic movie.
I still find it funny how the Hulk just randomly punches Thor when he gets inside of a building. And Thor's not Thor, but the Hulk's beat down of Loki is just hilarious.
Oh, puny god. Yeah. And I tell you what, Loki, Tom Hiddleston is like the perfect Loki. Oh my gosh, he is so great at the role. I love it.
And interesting facts for later movies that you should keep in mind. Loki is now terrified of the Hulk because of this. Just that small little scene, but he's terrified of the Hulk now.
I mean, did you see what he did to him? I mean,
yeah.
I know that Loki's not a human, but he literally just grabs him by his legs and starts smashing him. Like, if he wasn't I mean, I guess Loki is also a god like Thor. If he wasn't like a god like Thor or god-like being, he would be a bladder or a destructive mess.
Yeah.
Oh, and did your heart break like mine when you saw Agent Coulson die?
Yes, I did not expect it. I don't know why. I've seen this movie before, but it just hadn't stuck to me until now.
Yeah. That's Agent Coulson. He's been there since almost the beginning. And his sacrifice was fun. I love Coulson. He just like shoots Loki, and he's like, "Oh, that's what that does."
Yeah. Well, that's neat.
Yeah, he does survive, and then we get Agents of Shield after this movie.
He survives.
Well, he is. So it's a big mystery in the show, Agents of Shield. I've watched the whole series. It's a good series. I enjoyed it, especially at the beginning. They tied it into the Marvel movies quite a bit. Like you know what happens in the Winter Soldier, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, Hydra.
We'll watch the
Hydra
watch the
comes
Winter
out.
Soldier and we'll figure it out.
Well, you know that Hydra is a big thing in the later movies, right?
No.
Do you know what Hydra is?
I remember it from Captain America. We will figure this out when we continue watching the Marvel movies, Dad.
Hydra is the Nazi scientists. Yes. Well, they had infiltrated Shield, and half of them are Nazis or Hydra agents, and that's what the Winter Soldier story is about. Well, when that happens in Winter Soldier, that also happens in Agents of Shield. So the entire show changes because now you're finding out a lot of your friends are actual Hydra agents. So, anyways, but Agent Coulson's the main character, and there's a big mystery around it. They keep on saying he came back from Tahiti, because apparently they found some way to resurrect Agent Coulson. So Agent Coulson does come back, but he did die here. They used some kind of technology to bring him back. And
they gathered the Dragon Balls.
They might have.
All right.
Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis. They defeat it, and then Thanos turns around and smiles. Oh, and they also go to that restaurant that Iron Man talks about. I can't remember the name of the restaurant right now. Shawarma. Yeah. I've never heard of shawarma, but until this movie.
But they seem to be enjoying themselves, so I'm going to believe them.
I think it's a New York restaurant. So, and I've never been to New York, so.
Right. Also, the whole
not the
Towers,
city.
And they got Stark Towers, but the Stark, all the letters except for the A came out, so it's like A for Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I believe happens in the comics. He turns Stark Tower into Avengers Tower.
Yeah, I don't really know a whole lot what goes on in the comics, except that Gwen Stacy dies in a Spider-Man comic.
She does. She does die.
Yes. Anyways,
Spider-Man. I'm probably most familiar with Spider-Man and Batman comics. Those are the ones I mostly read. Sometimes X-Men. I would read X-Men here and there. But those were my comics mostly. Was Spider-Man and Batman. And there's so many, so I don't know a lot, but I know some.
All right.
All right. So what do we do next?
We haven't been doing this regularly, so that's true. So okay. What did you think of the Avengers?
I loved it. It's a great movie.
Me too. Yeah, it was a fantastic movie. Yes.
Fantastic movie, indeed.
It definitely dwarfs a lot of the other movies before this, and some movies after it, but I will give my objective opinion on the movie. So, yeah. Basically, of course, you gotta think about, what does this movie try to be? And it tries to be, a mix-up of awesome Marvel movies just crammed in there, and you go kamehamehas on all of them, and it's crazy, it's hype, it's 2.5 hours of awesomeness, which doesn't sound like a whole lot coming after, Gone with the Wind, stuff like that. that movie was a long ride. But still, this is 2.5 hours of crammed awesomeness. You're like putting your hands in the salad bowls and just putting a bunch of work, mixing it up with all that delicious salad dressing, crunching up the croutons, and you get this delicious salad. This amazing, super delicious salad. It's healthy. Is
it healthy?
I know. Avengers, is this healthy? Yes, it's eye candy, but with salad dressing.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a way to describe this movie, of course. Yeah.
It's what this movie tries to be, and it runs to that faster than light.
Than the Flash. Oh, Quicksilver.
Yeah.
There's the Marvel version of the Flash is Quicksilver.
I'm giving this movie a 10.
I'm trying to think. Because I feel like there's other Marvel movies that I did enjoy more than this, even though this is fantastic. So I don't know if I want to give it a 10. No, you know what? I agree. This was a monumental movie. I will go with a 10 as well. This was a great movie.
Yeah, I'm more or less thinking on the line of like how much I enjoyed the movie, yes, but also like, what the movie tries to be. Is it enjoyable for different types of people who like different forms of the media that this movie's trying to focus on? And you know what? The answer is violence. Delicious, salady, healthy violence.
Some good old-fashioned violence.
Salady violence.
Salady violence. You're really focusing on the salad metaphor.
Well, it's green. There is some green, like, in the Hulk.
The Hulk.
Hulk is green. Hulk is healthy. This is what happens when you eat... This is what happens when you eat your greens, children. You become the Hulk. Which reminds me, actually. Baby brother wants to be the Hulk.
Oh, I know. He wants to be the Hulk. Yeah. He was afraid of the Hulk.
Yeah, we have this little room for him over at your place, and you had like this big foam thing on the wall of the Hawk. It's really awesome looking, but like I guess Remington got kind of scared of it, so he had to, like, I don't know, put it somewhere in your room. That's where I know it's at right now. But now the dude wants to become him. He has faced his fears, kind of like Batman.
No, he got some giant Hawk like fist thingy.
Oh.
Like a toy Hawk fist, so now he wants to be the Hawk.
Oh, man.
He changed it from being a police officer, and now he wants to be the Hawk.
Right, continue talking. I'll be right back. I need to get something. I found what I was looking for.
Oh yeah? You got the Hawk fist.
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm wondering if this is what Remy got, or if it's one of those Hulk fists where you could like bend the finger.
I don't know. I don't know what he got.
I don't know either. But like, either way, we're matching Hulk buddies. Anyways, salad. We were talking about salad before.
You were talking about salad. I don't believe I was. I don't know if I was talking about salad. Continue.
It's delicious. This is what the movie is. I have very few complaints.
I will probably have me a salad after we're done here, but
probably me too. This movie makes me want to eat something healthy. Even though I just had a plate of pizza in front of the camera too. Speaking of which, I can't see you. What's going on here?
See you.
Are you having Wi-Fi problems? You should go to McDonald's, sir.
Nope, it's still recording though, so we're okay.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. It's a podcast, so that's all that matters.
That's right.
All right.
All right. So what?
So you said you give this also a 10?
I do. Yes. This is for what it is. This is like a great. I mean, it's a great movie, anyways. But for what it is, it deserves. It did things that no other movie has ever done. I don't think.
Yeah.
Brought different characters from different movies, brought them together. I mean, the budget alone to pay all these like top tier actors is insane, and they keep doing it because they got that Disney money.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Disney
so
money. I don't think Disney owned Marvel when this movie came out, though. Oh, there you are.
No, Disney bought Marvel right at the beginning. Like Disney started this Marvel cinematic. Well, kind of. I don't know if the Hulk movie was originally Disney, but I think when they acquired it, and that's why the Hulk movie has a different actor and everything.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I noticed that. I remember watching like the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, and
Yeah,
and I noticed he was definitely a different actor.
yeah, he's Mark Ruffalo in the new, like starting with this movie, The Avengers, and then before that he was Edward Norton.
Ah,
So
I wonder why they got a different actor there.
There was some kind of, if I remember right, there was some kind of contract disputes with Edward Norton. Edward Norton was wanting certain things, and they weren't willing to go with it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the Hulk movie was made by a different studio, which wasn't Disney, and then they acquired the rights.
Which is why we can't find it on Disney Plus. You know.
Which is So I think it was a different studio and everything. So, yeah, it was. I can't remember what the dispute was, but there was some kind of dispute with Edward Norton. He was a kind of a bigger actor at the time, and one had some demands. I don't remember what it was, but there was some kind of dispute. They got Mark, which I think they worked well. Mark Ruffalo is fantastic as the Hulk. And I like Edward Norton. I love Edward Norton, and I was fine with him in the original Hulk movie, in that first Hulk movie. But Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk to me now. He is fantastic in the role, and I would prefer him. Although I don't know if we're getting more Hulk, but he's great.
All right. We'll get into that more like when the time comes. But here we have this beautiful movie. It's beautiful.
All right, so what's next? Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Healthy,
delicious Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh, what is? Are you hungry, son? Because it sounds a lot like you might be you might have the hunger. Even though you had that one pizza, I don't know if it was enough.
3 pieces of pizza, actually.
Those 3 pieces of pizza was not enough, I think. So what is your Rotten Tomatoes guess?
Like 94 for critics, 99 for audience.
I'm gonna go 95 for critics, and I'd be willing to bet this is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's find out. No, I was wrong. 91% for critics, and 91% also for audience. I mean, still really high.
I win for both.
Both are high, but
Unfortunately, though, it is lower than we expected. But oh well.
it is. I expected higher, but maybe I'm thinking of Endgame, and those were really high.
Oh man, once we get to Endgame, that is going to be super hype. We had a lot of hype. Trust me. I remember watching that movie in the theater, and I loved it. I love all the Avengers movies, all the Avengers titles. And there's very few MCU movies that I can say I don't like. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We'll
'Cause
be
I
getting
can't even think of one.
we'll be
Right off the
getting
top
to
of my
one
head.
here very soon.
Right.
No, I'm interested in revisiting, but I don't remember liking the Dark World, Thor 2, the
Ah.
Dark World. I'm curious how I'm gonna react to it now, like maybe with new eyes. Will it be more interesting to me? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what that's gonna be like, because
Right.
I don't remember liking it, but
Right. Isn't that like the second or third movie
it's
in the
Ragnarok is the it's in
I mean like
it's in
the
phase 2.
I know in the phase 2, but is it like the second or third movie of phase 2?
I don't remember. I think it could be right after Iron Man, but I think that's Doctor Strange. I think it's Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange, then maybe Thor 2, but I'm not
We'll have to
positive.
check on that. We'll have to check on that sooner or later.
Yeah.
Now there's the Cinemantra.
The Cinemantra.
Yeah. Do you have a Cinemantra?
No, not yet. Do you?
Let's see here. All right. If you could mind control some villain from a video game that you like or dislike or whatever, pick one and choose what you would do with that.
I could mind control a character from a video game?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know.
Giving you a Mind Stone. Choose what you're gonna do with it.
I would. Am I supposed to be a villain or a hero here?
You're mind controlling a villain. So you can be a hero, you can be a villain, that's your choice.
Oh, but I have to take a villain video game character to mind.
Yes, specifically a villain.
I was about to mind control Sonic. But okay, so I'm mind controlling a villain. I will mind control. Oh, this is tough. Now it's even tougher. Dr. Robotnik to fix all the problems. He's a scientist. He's supposed to be really smart. Maybe if he used that evil for good. All right. My Cinemantra is if you could choose, we're going to stick with comic book villains. We're going to stick with Marvel comic book villains. If you could choose a different comic book villain, now, Loki was great. I think Loki was great. But if you chose anybody else to take Loki's place, what comic book villain from Marvel would you choose?
So
It doesn't have to be
instead of Loki.
To put in this movie instead. It doesn't have to be one that's been in the MCU. It could be from the comics.
What about Galactus?
I so I said to replace Loki. Okay, I would say Galactus would be a good choice if you wanted to replace Thanos. But since this movie focuses on Loki and Thanos is lackey, I'll tell you right now, Galactus would not be anybody's lackey. Galactus is
Okay.
a world destroyer. He is Thanos level bad guy. He is very possibly someone they might choose eventually as one of the big bads. I'm talking about someone more. I guess Loki's still pretty strong, but I'm talking about someone that's not like that tier of villain.
Okay.
Like choosing like Green Goblin instead of Loki or something along those lines.
All
I,
right.
I think I think Galactus is a bad choice for what I'm suggesting.
Right.
Now I may ask a similar question when we start focusing on Thanos as the villain. But right now I'm talking about this movie, a Loki style villain that could replace Loki. Who would you put in place of Loki?
We've got Magneto who can just like throw around an Iron Man, take Captain America's shield and just slap everybody to death with metal because that's what Magneto does.
Magneto's a perfect choice. That is a great choice. Absolutely. Marvel
Hey,
didn't have the rights, so
Thor's
that wasn't
wearing
going to happen. But
Thor's wearing metal. Yeah.
it will be very interesting to see how the Avengers deal with Magneto, because now that Disney has the rights to X-Men, that is a possibility.
He could do some weird stuff with Hawkeye just like Loki did, although Loki did mind control. Magneto could just take his arrows and be like, "Yeah, they're mine now. Screw you."
Oh my gosh. I can actually see an amazing scene where Hawkeye shoots an arrow at, which actually we're probably not going to be dealing with these Avengers anymore. Like they're pretty
Yeah.
much retired now, but I could see an amazing scene with if this was Magneto instead of Loki. I could see an amazing scene where Hawkeye shoots at Magneto and he uses his magnetic powers to turn it around and shoot it right back at Hawkeye. That'd be that'd be a really cool scene, to be honest with you. I think so. Yeah, I think I give you 10. That's the highest we can do? 10. I give you a 10. That is a perfect pick. I give you a 0 for Galactus, but a perfect 10 for the Magneto. Magneto's a perfect villain to put in place because Magneto's also he is a top tier villain like Loki is, but he's not like worlds destroying villain. He's perfect choice. Magneto's a great choice. I applaud you. Perfect choice. 10 out of 10.
I'm just imagining like Iron Man trying to like fight against Magneto. Is like, "Who are you?" And Magneto's like, "Oh, is that your heart? Is your heart made of metal?" And he's just like, "Thank
His heart,
you."
and I can also see. Now, here's the one thing: Hawk wouldn't be able to. Hawk wouldn't be able to grab Magneto by the legs and smash him repeatedly and have him survive. That that
Right. That would
Magneto,
kill him.
yeah, Magneto doesn't have like Loki level strength and endurance. Magneto is actually a human. I mean, he's a mutant, but he's not. His power comes from his ability, not from being able to take a crap load of damage. So that scene would probably be really different. But yeah, great choice. All right. Is there anything else we need to say on the Avengers?
This was a beautiful salady movie.
Really focus on that salad. Um,
some ranch, and you've got just mash it up, and it's spinachy. You got like that Popeye music going like do 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 do, and you turn the Hulk and punch everybody to death and punch him in his face, and everybody wins.
does it? Does everybody win?
I don't know. We won in the Avengers. The Avengers won. So, okay, yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Okay.
What about you, Daddy-O?
Well, then I guess it's time to plug the pluggables.
I am Cryo Keen Artist, and the Instagram, the Facebook, and I'm also accepting art commissions nowadays, which I haven't gotten any, unfortunately, but that's mostly because I'm not very popular.
Jeez.
But I'm also Cryo Keen Artist on YouTube and the TikToks. Not to mention, though, I'm also Snowshine Gaming's as a gaming channel on YouTube, which I haven't uploaded anything in a while, but that's because there's some weird stuff going on with my video editor. Some of my files got just erased off of there. The files themselves on my computer, the files on my computer itself isn't gone, but like the edits that I had on said files somehow just got deleted.
Disappeared?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That is weird. But yeah, that's why I haven't been uploading on my gaming channel, for anyone curious. Which I doubt there is anybody curious because nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I'm still working on creating characters for my wrestling league that I'm gonna do on there. Trying to create a full league or a full to do a weekly show.
Right. And the next movie we'll be watching, I believe is Saludos Amigos.
It is Saludos Amigos. Yes.
Yes. And then after that, we finally get into the regular trilogy of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that would be A New Hope.
Yeah.
There was No Hope, and now there's a new one.
Yay. Yeah, we get.
Yay.
And then that's when we get into the multiverse stuff with Spider-Man, and then A Bug's Life, which is a Pixar movie that I have never watched.
That is a Pixar movie that I have not seen in years. It has been a long time since I've seen A Bug's Life. I don't remember it hardly at all, so that would be kind of cool. I've been looking forward to that.
Yeah, but the next movie we'll be watching and then reviewing with all of you fellas is Saludos Amigos, a movie that I have no idea what to expect.
I remember the song, Saludos Amigos is what I say on to you. I might watch that today.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it at some point. I'll have to figure out when we're recording at some point next week or whatever. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think that all we have left to say is Auf Wiedersehen.
Le pièce. Oh, once again, please, if you will, like and subscribe onto our YouTube page titled Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You, where all these wacky podcasts where we watch movies and review them go on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.